Hey, what's up, good people? Y'all already in the room. We're sorry we're late, but hey, a lot of technical difficulties. We're over here. We looking over here. What's up, good people? Hey, show us some love by hitting that subscribe button as you come in. The subscribe button as you come in. You can see I got Stocks with Josh right there. Looking at camera right there. We got Stocks with Josh. Boom. We got Keenan Grace right there. And yours truly. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We literally ran in and just threw some stuff together. And shouts out to Stock Mo, who has had he is under the weather, and we're praying that he gets better. He's been working, putting videos out today, but he's still under the weather. So we told him, hey man, just you do you, get better, and we'll all come together. He said, you guys just go ahead, please feed the people. So shouts out to Stock Mo. He wants us to make sure that the family is fed. All right. So, hey, man, what I'm going to do first is we're just going to read. We're just going to read this. This is what we're going to read. Right. This is what I like to do after a Fed meeting, Josh. This is my cheat sheet. So you could see all of the things that happen. Fed meeting news. Central bank keeps rates steady. We know that. Fed meeting live. We saw that. The Fed holds interest rates steady, but cuts economic growth forecast.
Yeah, that was the trigger.
That's the trigger, okay? And so when you click on that, you could see everything growth forecast because of what? Tariffs, all right? And so that's one of the things we're going to look at. We're going to talk to y'all today, so y'all just hold on. So then look, this is what I'm looking at. This is what happened to the market. This is where it closed at. This is the day. We have the S&P up percent. We got the NASDAQ up 1.4%, and the Dow was up 386 points. But I love that NASDAQ up 246 points. Playing those cues, we got it good. Those of you that are part of anybody's Patreons, especially our three and the ones that we have together, we all were talking about this S&P on that SPY, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. And then, boom, we're going to come back to this. This is what I want to like. This is what I want to see every day. 85.7. Look at that. 85.7 with crypto. We're going to talk about all of this. And then, of course, we have a sea of green. Look at all of those leaves. We love the leaves. Okay. So let's go back. Josh, you know what, Keenan, man, talk to the people if I press the right button. Keenan, talk to the people.
I'm here.
And wait, you know what? I'm in a different scene. There we go. I'm like, where's Keenan?
I'm
here.
Keenan. I'm here.
No, it was on my end, fam. So talk to the people about the market today.
First of all, my light just fell. Y'all see I left my studio. My light is not charged. I got multiple lights and they're all dead. So it's a little dark over here
too, man.
It's a little dark over here, but it's all good. Ain't nothing wrong with dark. That's what I heard. So
you crazy.
But I say that to say, family, listen, today was an easy money day. Today was an easy money day. If you were in the market, you made some money very easily. If you were sitting on the sideline, then I know that you may be feeling like, man, I really missed this quick pump from the S&P 500. I missed this quick pump from the tech stocks that are moving. You can see everything kind of turn green after Jerome Powell basically didn't do anything, just let the markets just be as they are. What people were afraid of was that if he does cut rates, it could seem really reactive. It could seem like he's in fear that we are in an economic downturn. And if we are in an economic downturn, then the economy is just going to be in the trash, and then we're going to be in a recession. Everybody's going to lose money. But the fact that we stayed in sort of a pause moment, it told us that we still have the opportunity to make more growth in the economy going forward, which is very good for the stock market because people can then have the money to buy stocks. Now, I had spoke on something that I wanted to just let you guys know. I had seen a post that said there are going to be people who are broke. I'm talking about regular everyday people who are broke in the year 2053. So go ahead and look that up, right? Poor by 2053. Google that. And they're saying that the average American or even especially they're saying, especially people of color, but everybody, but especially people of color, they're saying, are going to just be dead broke. And I want to encourage you to not play into any of these narratives that you ever see. If they telling you what's going to happen to you, literally like what, years and years, decades out from now, it's 2025. They're telling you what's going to happen to you. You could fight that today. How do you do so? You have to invest. If you are an investor, you will not be broke in the future. So I say all of that to say, family, please invest into yourself. Do not play into these narratives that they try to put you in a box and then you feel like you got to play into that box. I'm seeing a lot of people get put into boxes that I know and love and respect, but they just playing into the narrative. They're getting into the Elon Musk hate train. They're getting into the Trump hate train, or even on the other end of it, where they love him to death or whatever. They picking a side that really got nothing to do with them at the end of the day. I want you to help yourself, help the people around you, help yourself, be in control of what you can be in control of. Don't be so angry that somebody is driving a Tesla when your own savings account is not full, when your children's savings account is not full, when they don't have reoccurring investments. Don't get so angry that somebody is doing something like that when you got to get your own house in order. It's your job, it's your duty to establish law and order in your life. So focus on that, because if you're focusing on things that you can't control, then what you're going to do is you're going to be mad at others when you should be mad at your own situation enough that makes things happen. And I want to just leave off on this one. They say that if you want to feel better, blame others. But if you want to get better, blame yourself.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Josh, look this way and talk to the people.
Hey, man, first of all, I've just got to say thank you, Larry, for having me in today. This is actually where my YouTube journey began. Some people know that, but some actually don't. Larry actually is the one who got me to get onto YouTube, and so it's really fun for me to be back here in the studio. I came out to Chicagoland to celebrate this guy's birthday, and it's been a lot of fun. Let's talk about the market. Why did the market react the way that it did? Well, first, I want everyone to understand that options were pointing to the fact that the S&P 500 would get nearly a 1.4% move in reaction to the Fed. And we got that at its peak and high. We literally hit 1.4% up for the day. We ended around 1% for the day. And I'm going to break down some of the things that I view, like, are we going higher? Is this the turnaround moment? Should I be loading up in preparation of not being able to get these prices again? And it's a little difficult to unwind because the answers are never that simple. Wall Street is not one-dimensional. I wish it was two-dimensional. I think it's actually three-dimensional plus. But here's what's going on. Believe it or not, we still don't have very high volume. We did have a beautiful reaction to the market because largely I think there wasn't everything bad in the current moment in time has been priced in. So pretty much the market got to the point where it didn't find anything unexpected from the Fed, and there really wasn't any reason for it to go down lower, and so it went up. But the Fed basically gave this bit of information, and this is why the markets took it bullishly. He said that he saw slowing growth, and he acknowledged that while we're getting slowing growth, we could actually have an uptick in inflation. Now, to that, he then said that we will be looking, obviously, to cut rates later this year. So the fact that he seemed to suggest that the slowing growth would be enough reason to cut rates, and that he simultaneously understood that he wasn't going to be able to keep inflation, let's say, or get it down to 2%. That's why the markets, that was what the markets needed to hear. We basically needed him to point to the fact that he would give us rate cuts even if inflation wasn't ticking down. That's what I heard, and that's what the price action said after the market heard him speak. We shot higher. Now, here's what I think is going to happen, and I'm going to cover some stocks, crypto, and I'm going to throw out some things that I like right now or things that I've got my eye on. I can tell you that we're nowhere near out of the woods. I actually believe that we have a greater than 50% chance that the markets will actually make a lower low, or at best, a higher low. But it's not straight up from here. I believe that we're going to continue to go up, right? I believe that we're going to see Bitcoin. I predicted this when we were down in the gutter and down on the hard red days. I said Bitcoin will go back up to 90K. We will go back up at least to 90K, and we will back test. And I think we're going to see a lot of big tech come up off their bottoms, as we did see today, and we're going to go a little higher. I think NVIDIA will get to $129. I don't think that there's enough reason or any catalysts right now that would cause the markets to go down right now. So they're going to drift up, but they're going to drift up on lower volume. And then we're going to have this pivot point where we're either going to get rejected at key levels like NVIDIA at 129, Bitcoin at 90K, and then we're going to go on to make a lower low. Or, and I know that people hate it, like when I say these types of things, they're saying, so basically, Josh, it can go up or down. No, if you get a strong rejection candle at 90K, it's going to be obvious that we're going to go make a lower low. If we get a strong rejection candle on NVIDIA at 129K, it'll be obvious that we'll have to go back and test the lows. So it gives us enough direction to trade. It gives us enough direction to make money. We made money. I live traded this morning with my community, and we made money, and the market wasn't even very volatile. Later in the afternoon, there was a ton more money to be made. This should have been a profitable day. And if it wasn't a profitable day, then you got to stop trying to trade alone. Get into Larry's Money Club, get into Keenan's University, KJU University, or come join me at the Stocks with Josh community. Don't trade alone, because if you found today a losing day, I saw somebody in the comments said that they blew up their account today. You know what? I don't think that if you were in any of our three communities that you would have blew up your account. Now, I'm going to pause, give it back to Larry, but let me just say this. So we got some huge news on SoundHound. I'm going to keep this very, very simple. I like SoundHound from the prices it's at this evening to $13 or $13.50. So I'm just going to tell you right now that I just told you guys I like SoundHound for a run up to $13.50. Notice how I said NVIDIA to 129, Bitcoin to 90. You need to be prepared that when we hit these numbers, you're going to have to make a tough decision. Tighten your stop loss, right? I think we go higher from here, but I'm not convinced that it's a V-shaped recovery just yet. I don't think we have enough things solved with the tariff. Now, if we got further down the road and we got Bitcoin to 90 and we got NVIDIA to 129 and we got SoundHound to 1350 and then Donald Trump worked out one of these tariff wars, well, then yes, everybody will get left behind and we'll rocket from there. But that's going to be the next big test in the market. We're probably going to drift up and hit those numbers. And if the tariff war doesn't get worked out, then we're going to go back and we're going to retest the lows. So it's going to remain an extremely choppy market. It's going to remain a trader's market. But personally, if you're a long-term investor, we definitely got some nice prices. I've said this 100 times, at least on my show and in my community. Costco. It's never been the wrong decision to buy Costco when it got oversold on the daily time frame. And the other day it got oversold on the daily time frame. Could it go lower? Sure. Are you buying when it's oversold and it's always been a good idea? Yes. So depending on your timeline or your horizon, it's definitely worth nibbling. But if you wanted to know exactly what Josh was doing with his cash, I am trading this market and I am greedily waiting for another test of lows because I don't think we're entirely out of the bare woods.
Man, thanks for that, Josh, because my OC was driving me crazy and I was straightening
You did that for old time's sake. Yes. Everybody knows that when you and I would shoot a video, you'd run around and adjust the cameras.
I want you to have good lighting, man.
Normally I'm a little blown out.
Right. Hey, I want you to keep going and then Keenan, I want you to come behind that. I want you to talk about what the people see right there.
Okay, so yeah, so right now Bitcoin at 85K, and I'm telling you that the test is, I said this a while back on my show. I said, as long as we get above 82,500, we're out of the danger zone of a flash crash. So right there, the minute we closed daily above 82,500, if you ran with my technicals and if you believed them, you would have bought and you'd be up at around 86K right now. Now I'm telling you that we are still likely to run up and backtest the 89.5 to 90K, right? And so I think relatively, that's the area where I think it's safe to hold Bitcoin. And it's right around 90 that we're going to get the huge test. XRP, we got this incredible news event today that the lawsuit is officially done and over. And I'll be honest, 250 is the starting line for a move. 275 is where it breaks out. So I'm a little bit underwhelmed by the price action. I'm under impressed by it. I'm not hating on it. I'm just telling you, it's got to get above 275 for me to think, okay, now we're breaking out. A move back up to from 220 to 250 on this incredible news is very measured. It's very, very measured. It's not. I don't have FOMO. You guys don't be telling me you've got FOMO. No, I don't have fear of missing out. I'm looking at it and going, okay, I need to get a little bit higher for me to think that this is actually breaking out and going to make a new high. So cautiously optimistic. Bitcoin to 90, XRP 275, 285. That's the direction I think we're going to go. I think SoundHound, I like it up to 1350. One of the stocks I'm going to share with you guys or talk about today that I haven't talked about in a while, and I'm going to bring it back to the tube here, which is Disney. Disney needs our attention. So Disney is getting priced in. Their abject failure at the box office. Snow White is wildly controversial. And I think the fact that on a beautiful up day like today, the fact that Disney wasn't getting any love is because of the fact that Snow White's likely to premiere, likely to do terrible, and it's getting priced in advance. However, I believe that it's time. I don't really know. I just been seeing for quite a while. I think it's the gal that's playing Snow White's been just not. She's been talking about the movie. It's been a little controversial. But the bottom line is, I think it's not going to work in the box office. Okay. And let's say it does work. Let's say the movie's better than anyone thought, that they fixed it. Because I know they actually went back and refilmed a lot. Let's say it does better. I think they priced in failure. And even if it doesn't succeed or does succeed, I think this is when you want to pay attention. Guys, you got to remember, you're going to be successful when you go against the trend. Okay. So I think Disney right now, where it's at, is an easy, well, for me, not a suggestion for you should buy, sell, or hold. But I have had great success in this, Larry. Yep. And so have you.
Yes.
When everybody gets tired about it and they're all like, well, Disney sucked today. Everything else was ripping and Disney wasn't. That's what you want to pay attention to, because we're going to get to the point where everything else cools off and people are going to realize that Disney's doing very well. Disney's growing. The only issue they've got is capacity, and Bob Iger has gone on a full scale, pursuit of growing their capacity, and they're going to see those profits increase in 2026, 2027. And the fact is, it is still down on its low. And every time you get a chance to buy Disney at $100, just think about the fact that if you have enough time, this is likely going to get back to 120. So for me, Disney seems easy today. And for me, I'm dropping the gem for you. AMD was the last gem that I've been dropping not too long ago. And AMD has been paying very well.
Yes, it has.
Today it was up nicely. And I think it's really just the beginning of the move. AMD to $140. Intel, I talked about it yesterday, and it had a down day. Did that scare me? Did it get me off my position? Nope. It comes down a little bit more. I'm going to pick up some more because I think that we've been, like I say, it's a SWAT team. We keep hitting that $26 door. And how many times is the SWAT team going to hit that price point of $26 till the door busts down and the bulls go running in? I think we could literally gap up to $28, $29, $30. And at that point, everyone's going to be asking, Josh, should I buy Intel? Don't even be putting it in the comment section. I like Disney while it's forgotten. I like Intel on a down day. And we were holding AMD with a smile today.
Keenan, what you got to say about crypto, brother? Go ahead. You got it. You need me to pull that chart back up, or you can just talk about it. Talk about Bitcoin and then chime in on XRP.
I got it. Shout out to my guy Jumpman. I see he just let us with a $5 super chat. My dog, that's my guy. Jumpman is actually one of my crown traders, so major salute to Jumpman. He's one of my newest crown traders. He's been killing it.
He hot like that?
So hot. Love to see it. He actually has a YouTube channel as well, so I wanted to give him a shout out.
We're going to check him out.
I wanted to say this, right? So we have been giving the best buy alerts I ever seen in the world in terms of just crypto and options, particularly today. I wanna show y'all something, right? Look at this real quick. You think this says $429? No, this is an option that we jumped into today. It's
Nice
the
one,
percent.
Keenan. Nice one.
Can I borrow $5?
429%.
You got to show that off. That's beautiful.
So
Can you
that,
buy me a
yeah,
hot
we
dog, man?
actually cooking right
Yes,
now.
sir.
And I say that to say this. Today was one of those easy days. A lot of
was.
people miss out on the easy days because they quit on the hard days. But you got to stick through the hard days for the easy days to come. Some days you're going to lose some. Some days you're going to make 10%. Some days you're going to make 1%. Some days your stop loss is going to kick you out too soon. But when you stick to your disciplines, what's going to happen is you are going to be able to get to the easy days like this. I had seen a master trader say something that I really felt everybody could use in terms of just the value of thinking. They said, when you get into a trade, you got to think. Two things are very likely to happen, and you got to just have a checklist. The first one is you ask yourself when you get into a trade that you lost. You get into a trade and you lose. Was your methodology up to standard? If your answer is yes, then that means your charting was good. That means your understanding of the moves of the market, the price action was good. That's good. Your methodology was good, but you still lost. What happened? You ask yourself, was it psychological? Did you fall victim to the psychology of trading? Were you getting afraid and changing your stop loss and moving it too low or moving it too high? Or did you not use one? Did your psychology let you down? And if the answer is no, that means your method was good, your psychology was good, but you only lost a trade because of probability. That's what the market is. It's a probability kind of a game once you have your methods good, aka your charting, and once you have your psychology good. Because when you think about this, whenever you're looking at the charts, you're anticipating based off prior actions and things that you've learned about trends that other buyers or sellers are going to jump in at a specific point. And if they do, because remember, they are human, they're also algorithms, but you're anticipating that they're going to jump in or jump out at a particular point. There's a probability that exists that they won't. But if your methods are good, you're going to be right more often than not. And if your psychology is good, you are going to believe in your own charts. Everybody who's watching this right now, I better get a yes in the chat. Have you gotten kicked out of a play before it ran? You were in it and got kicked out of it before it ran. Did that ever happen to you? If so, say yes. What is this telling me if that happened to you? This is telling me that your methods, the reason that you got in was good. Your psychology, you believed in this play, could have been good. But maybe you got to work on your risk management a little bit because you're getting stopped out of plays when you were supposed to stay in the play, and then you watch it kick you out or you let it go and then it runs immediately. So many people, that has happened to them with particularly XRP, as Larry asked me about, and I want to let y'all know something. So we've been loading up on XRP. Every time it dipped down, I had somebody say something so funny to me. They were like, Keenan, haven't you realized that the whales are manipulating it? They keep buying it at $2 and selling it at $3. So then every time I buy it at $3, I keep losing. And I say, wait. I say, hold up. You telling me you've identified a trend that the whales is dumping it at 3 and buying it at 2, and you're doing the exact opposite of what they're doing. You're doing the exact opposite. You know that 3 has been the local top and $2 has been around the local bottom, but you keep buying it at the top. So then I say that to say, switch your mind state. Trust in the research that you do. Trust in your charting that you do. When you trust in your charting, you won't get kicked out so early on all of your plays. You will trust it and say, yeah, this is just shaking the people out who don't get it. I see the play. I understand this. And then that's when you're going to be able to have those days like we had today of going up 429% on a play. Now, again, I might take a high risk play and use a low dollar amount every now and again. Every play ain't going to be like that, right? I'll keep it real, keep it raw. But the idea is to be a profitable trader. So with XRP, I wanted to also just say this. You know how XRP jumped up today? Obviously, I said we've been buying it low, but this is why it hasn't fully gone up as people might expect. XRP in about, I think it was either 2021 or 2022, but during the pandemic, really, when we were in the heat of the pandemic, the SEC, they started to sue against XRP and saying that they were a security. So then XRP was kind of getting blackballed. If you ever played pool and you think about the black ball, you try to avoid the black ball. XRP was the black ball. If you get near XRP, you might open yourself up to lawsuits, like Coinbase was getting sued related to that. Now, the SEC lawsuit, it was let go by the judges. But then Gary Gensler, good old Gary Gensler, he appealed it to try to reopen a lawsuit. The lawsuit isn't totally and utterly gone at this point. A lot of people thought it was. It's not totally and utterly. It's still kind of looming a little bit in the background, but the appeal has been dropped. So they're still going to try to figure out the regulatory side of XRP, but the appeal has been dropped related to the lawsuit. Now, are they going to fully just drop the whole thing totally and just be completely done with it? It looks like that, yes. So we still have that catalyst of the SEC announcing it and posting it themselves. We've just been hearing about it from Ripple. We've been hearing about it from other sources like that and XRP, but we want to see the SEC post about it themselves. So then the whales, your JP Morgans, your BlackRocks, all of them, they can make their XRP ETF. So then you can buy it like it's a stock, or at least buy exposure to it like it's a stock. And that's going to be another catalyst ahead of it. But here's one thing that happens all the time, and I got to tell you while I got the chance and I got your ear. Please, 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 please diversify yourself. There are going to be people who get so married to one thing. There are people who are married to SoundHound, people who are married to XRP, people who are married to NVIDIA, people who are married to even AMC, people who are married to just one thing.
Get
and they
married
let this
to
thing
your cash. Get married to your
they
cash.
let it be their ride or die. They say, hey, this is all or nothing. You worth more than putting everything you have on one thing. You can do way better than that. You don't need one thing to succeed for you to succeed. You could play it here, you could play it there, but you got to make sure that you diversify yourself so that you always win in the end. Times change, things change. This is not 2020. This is not 2021, 2022, and 2025, 6, 7, 8 are going to be different than each other as well. You have to evolve. Y'all seen we had the meme coin season, we had the meme stock season, we had the EV season, we had the AI season, we had the tech season, we had the crypto stock season. Things change and move. So if you get locked in to just one thing, then you're going to miss out on the next wave and the next wave and the next wave. So let's diversify ourselves, family.
All right. So I'm going to, Keenan, I want you to find a question to answer. Josh, I want you to have a question to answer. As a matter of fact, let's answer the people's questions, and then I'm going to talk about the overall stock market and overall crypto. Y'all see how good I'm doing? I'm letting my guests shine. All right. So we got a question we want to answer. Looking at camera to answer that one.
So Asma said, hi guys, good to see you guys. Kindly explain how to use margin safely, as I always get margin calls. Please, please, please explain. Thanks. I don't know what your platform is. I'm assuming that you're not in heavy leverage on, some platforms will offer 10, even 100x leverage. I'm assuming that's not what you're doing. Maybe it's Webull, Robinhood, or Moomoo, and they're giving you the ability to 2x your position or more. I'm going to tell you right now that it's just a huge mistake to use margin. Shift to a cash account.
I completely agree.
Yeah, man. It actually, all the limitations that you need to be successful are in the cash account, which means that if you trade your full cash position in the course of the day, they won't let you trade no more. So you got to stop, and then you can start again tomorrow. Let's say you have $5,000 or $10,000 in your cash account. Now you know that you could take maybe $1,000, and this is about speculation. I'm assuming this isn't long-term investment, but if you have yourself a speculative trade account, you could then take $1,000 out of that, and you could enter some options and enter a play, and you can open and close it. You could actually do that 10 times a day, so you don't run into that PDT rule, okay? And then if you are losing, it eventually brings you to a point where you've traded the full value of your cash for the day, and it stops you. So personally, switch from your margin account to your cash account, and it's actually going to be a healthier move for you, and you won't get those margin calls constantly making you put more money in. I've seen people that think they're winning because they're always topping off their account. They keep losing, but they keep topping off their account, and you don't want to be in that position. So that's my view on margin accounts.
So let me say this about margin accounts. You should not be using margin accounts. Just by your question, you should not be using margin accounts. And I may stand alone on this, but margin accounts are for people that really, really, really know what they're doing in the market.
You trade it with a credit card at that point.
That you're trading with interest. And Josh told you right. And so if you're using margin, I would tell you don't. And if you want to trade more than 3 times a week and you can't because of your broker and you have under 25K, simply open up another broker account, right?
Yep.
So there's workarounds, but I'm telling you, 90% of the people that's listening to me right now should not be having margin accounts and absolutely should not be doing margins in a bear market like this. You should not be doing margins. I'm not in a margin account and I know how to use a margin account. But are you in a margin account?
No, I keep mine cash.
Okay, so if at our level we're not in margins account, we're telling you once you get margin called,
I don't need their margin.
Exactly.
Or want it.
Exactly. I don't want it. That means that you're trying to trade with borrowed money. That's the same as going to the bank and taking a bank loan and putting it in your trade account and putting it in the options. And you're not that good at options, right? I'm not saying you individually. I'm just saying as a general rule. So just
the
don't do it.
restrictions that a cash account will give you are the perfect restrictions that you need to sort of have a controlled position size. So, you know, one of the 4 disciplines is controlling your position size. Cash accounts allow you to do that.
Yep. So I'm going to go over a few things. Keenan, Josh, I want you to get another question to answer. You can scroll back. Keenan, I want you to get a question to answer. We're going to talk to the people. But I just want to tell you.
I got one too, Larry.
Well, then you guys hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Let me get my 2 cents in, and then we can go because I just turned a year older and I might forget. All right, so so look, I want to talk about just for 1 minute. I want to point this out to you guys that's in crypto, right? One of the things that you got to do is you got to think. And the charts are showing you even more than you putting these indicators on. The charts are showing you even more than that. Josh, a lot of people don't really realize that after this first pump last cycle, a lot of the altcoins had already topped out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then they came back and they loaded up in altcoins here, but they didn't get the pump here in the altcoins that they got here.
Correct.
And if we are about to do the exact same thing,
nobody wants to hear that, Larry.
Nobody wants to hear that. So I want you guys to know that this was 2021, this first pump, which we could be still in here. I just want to keep it real. A lot of the altcoins reached their highs here. Now, they did pull back, but this pretty much showed you where the highs were. Yep. Now, the altcoins fell just like Bitcoin and everything else, and they ran back up. But a lot of people weren't looking at the highs, and then they were expecting 10 baggers, 30 baggers on altcoins, not meme coins, altcoins. And so I just don't want people to get in that same trap. Like just like this, some things. I pulled this up because I saw somebody say something about it. This is DJT, right? These are the things that just make common sense, right? And remember, I said after the election, this thing is going to plummet, right?
Yep.
So this was the election. Right? November 5th, actually. So this is the election, November 5th. It has slowly plummeted. How much is that? 55% today. And so, Larry, what chart did you use to show you that? Common sense. That was a common sense move to me because he's on the media every day. He don't need it.
I remember you sharing with me.
Yes.
He won't need it.
He won't need it.
When they give him 24-hour coverage, he won't need that Truth Social.
And one of my followers, that's all they've been doing is shorting it because they heard what I said. And they went far out. They went far out. and they've been shorting and they've been making a killing.
And when you pulled
shorting.
that chart up, Larry, what
Yep.
I took one glance at it and I said, that's a bearish
That's
looking
a
chart.
bearish looking chart.
The current candles are bearish. Even
Yep.
on its lows, it's looking bearish.
So there's money to be made with crypto, but we here, one of the things I appreciate is we look you in the eye and tell you the truth, right? We're in that bottom camera. We look you in the eye and tell you the
cameras,
truth.
Larry.
Yeah, I got all these cameras here. So that's what I want to tell you guys. Keenan, I want you to answer a question that has been asked. Let's talk to the people for a few. And guys, just so you'll know, we here where we are, there's a tornado warning coming. I just got a text. There's a tornado warning coming. So if we go black, we won't be back on. And I'm gonna leave Josh, and I'm gonna be under the doorway over there. You know how the movie go. Hey, Keenan, you know how those movies are. The black people, we run and hide, and then Josh is like, "What's that? What's that noise?
Go check that out."
I'm gonna go check that out. Sounds like a woman screaming. A monster just killed her. Let me go see how the monster look. I'm like, no, Josh, it's a monster. Keenan, what you got? What question you want to answer? Let's talk to the people.
So somebody asked about Tesla, and is it time to buy the dip on Tesla? Now, personally, I own a lot of Tesla, a whole lot of Tesla, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to buy any Tesla at the moment. And the reason I'm not buying any Tesla at the moment is because it's too hot politically, to the point that people are literally attacking the cars. They're attacking the cars. So I say that to say, people, if everyday people are attacking the cars, or they see the Cybertruck as a political statement, even though you may have bought it before Elon even was related to the government at all, if you see these things as a political thing, I've seen moderate people be happy with what's going on with Tesla cars being destroyed because they don't like billionaires. The world has trained you to not like people who have achieved financial success. They train you to hate people who have achieved what you want to achieve. They have also trained you to either be so in love with Democrats or so in love with Republicans that you can't see the good or the bad on either side. So I wanted to tell you, and I want to just ask everybody in the chat, right? Are you happy to see people destroying Cybertrucks and Teslas? Are you happy to see it? Yes or no? Answer that in the chat. I was shocked to see the divide. And by divide, most people will say no, they don't want to see any vandalism. But I see a few people saying, well, they earned it. So then I say, wait, you think that because someone is doing something politically, that everyday average citizens deserve to have their vehicles destroyed? This just shows me that Tesla stock is not in an area where fundamentally it makes sense to buy it. News catalyst wise, it makes sense to buy it. It makes sense to watch it and be patient. See if the company's products are still going up. See if the demand dries up or the demand heats up. That's really what's going to tell me. But I don't have demand metrics on the cars, aka are people buying more cars, or are people afraid to buy the cars, or are people saying, yeah, I just don't even want to be involved in that. It's really hot politically, because at the end of the day, remember, Tesla is a stock, but Tesla is also a company behind the stock. And the company is exceedingly receiving heat due to Elon Musk being in politics. Am I going to let go of my Tesla stock? Heck no. But do I think that we've seen the bottom of it? That has yet to be seen. That has yet to be seen. So I wanted to say, personally, I don't want to see any vandalism done to any cars or anybody who owns a Tesla or anything like that. But I want you to understand this. Do not fall victim to being somebody's foot on the ground soldier who you will never see. You will never see. Don't go to jail for a political ideology. Don't go to jail for that. Don't get yourself hurt trying to damage somebody's vehicle for that. It's not worth it. Focus on getting your money up. Focus on getting your health up, getting your wisdom up. Do not be somebody else's crash test dummy. And I say that to say, family, you might see a better price on Tesla than you already see. This could be the bottom, but the politics side of it is still hot. If you're afraid, and let's say you got $10,000 and you want to buy some Tesla shares, I wouldn't put all 10 in right now. I might put 1 in. I might put 2 in to get my feet in the water, but then I will watch it. I want to see it get out of the news for things. I want to see it get out of the news for people lighting them on fire. I want to see them in the news because people just won't stop buying them. That's what we're looking for. So at the end of the day, use common sense, like Larry was saying.
I want to comment on Tesla, and I think Josh is going to comment on Tesla, but we're going to keep these comments short because I want a few things to cover before we get off. Now, there's a dichotomy with Tesla right now, and Josh will probably agree with me. There's a dichotomy with Tesla right now. Number one, actually, if you look at the charts, you can be dollar cost averaging. You can actually be, the charts are showing me we're in an area where I could be buying, actually. That's what the charts are showing me. I'm not I'm not the chart guy at the stable by far. I can't even carry his bags, all right? But it's showing me, okay, I could start buying right here. That's what the charts are showing me with Tesla. But I'm not buying Tesla now. I showed Josh yesterday. I have some small dollar costs every day. I showed it to you.
Yep.
Every day I'm buying, and Tesla's one of them. And it's just small nibbles, right? Right, every day, small nibbles, every trading day.
And you've been very successful with that.
I have.
I've seen you do this before.
Set it and forget it. When things go down,
it's time to turn on the nibbler.
It's time to turn on the nibble. But have I put any big money in it? And you guys know I sold some before this big dip. Have I put any big money in it? No. And it's actually because of the same reason that Keenan just laid out. You got to understand everything, the dichotomy with Tesla. You got to zoom out, just like I did with what I just showed you. We zoomed out with crypto. We zoomed out with DJT. I always zoom out and look at the entire story. The entire story is that Tesla was built on the Dems and not the reps. Tesla was built on the tree huggers, right? Tesla was built on environment, get rid of oil, get rid of gas, which the reps were pro-oil, and the Dems were, just the opposite. Then he flipped his politics, right? Well, I ain't gonna say he flipped his politics, but he went to the, according to them, other side, right? And then this Doge, he's cutting jobs, just like he said. Keenan said the truth. No one wants to see Cybertrucks get burned up. But on the same hand, no one wants to see people lose their jobs, even though we all want small government. But it's just hard to see people losing their jobs, walking out with boxes. Nobody likes to see that. Dems and reps, we don't like to see that, right? And so you got this dichotomy, and it's actually driving it down. But it's driving it down to where it should be.
Yeah.
And it's driving it down to a buy range. And I want Josh to bag this up. This is why I wanted to talk before Josh, because I can feel Josh. Josh was
eager.
like, I want to get in here and say something. I want you to say that.
Yeah, real quick.
But I want to show something before you say that, okay? Let me show this, and then I'll yield the floor to you, okay? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to understand. When you look right now, we're up. But if you remember, it was killing it.
480.
It was killing it. But year to date, look at this, Josh. It hasn't. It gave us a lot.
It took it back. It gave it Stressla. We call Tesla Stressla.
And it gave a lot. And what happened? It took it
more
all back. Now I want you to come back and talk about that, Josh.
Well, okay. Let me go.
Yep,
I feel like you hold me back.
Yeah, no.
Well, first of all, let me shout out.
Thank
you. No, I appreciate that. I want to give a quick shout out to Spy Lord in the house.
My man, Spy Lord.
Appreciate you.
That's my guy. We should have just dropped him a link.
Yeah, I would have loved to have had him on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Tesla. I want to recap what I heard Elon. Keenan say. Keenan said that it can go lower, but he's not selling any of his. And so one, I agree. I haven't sold any of mine. And I also believe it could go lower. Larry just told you that he turned on the DCA machine and he's steadily getting some at these levels. You've got to learn to buy some companies with conviction when they're absolutely beat down. Because let's just break it down. First of all, we have a president that's trying through the tariff war, World War tariff, to bring manufacturing jobs and to bring jobs back to the United States, okay? What's the number one reason that jobs get shipped abroad? Because of cheap labor. What is the number one product that is slowly getting developed at Tesla besides EVs? And it's robots. The world would change. We didn't get the flying cars in the year 2000, but apparently we're going to get some robots sometime before 2030. And that's going to solve America's biggest problem, which is the cost of labor. Now, that's going to change the economy, but it's going to put Tesla, who's doing well with Washington, he paid for his seat at the table, $250 million.
Yep.
And what does a robot manufacturer who's getting ready to launch, who's proven themselves with SpaceX and with EVs to be able to be a dominant player in a field, what would the robot manufacturer need? He would need a green light from Washington. And at the time being, he has that. So, betting on Tesla is really betting on robots. It's not betting on EVs. And I think that, that's really what I'm looking at. And I believe that Tesla can be back at $500. And you say, well, Josh, what is your goal for 2025? I think we'll easily be back at $350. So do I believe that it's a straight shot from where we're at to $350? No. I believe still that while the tariff war is raging, we're likely to make a lower low on Tesla. Do I believe that Larry's going to make a fair amount of money on his nibbling?
You better believe it.
I believe he will. And I believe that at some point in 2025 and 2026, Keenan's going to be smiling at his Tesla profits, and other folks are going to be sad that they sold the bottom. Yes, I do. So can you buy Tesla now? Yes, you could if you were to do it moderately. First of all, it's not a suggestion for what you should do, but if you were to buy some and you were to run off of my personal belief, which is that we're going to be higher in the years to come, there's too much to the story. It would take a lot to derail the story. And the fact is that this FUD storm that Tesla is in has brought the stock back to a place where people could acquire it on the cheap. But at some point, we're going to be back at 350, I think. And people are going to be asking me, should I buy now? And I really hate to even answer those questions anymore, because he's buying now. Keenan, said he's not selling, and I am acquiring moderate positions here and there. I am going to be waiting for a lower low for a bigger purchase, but I bought a lot before, and so my big thing is not selling, very similar to Keenan's, not selling it right now.
Yep. So, Josh, where's Shanghai?
In China.
Right. So Shanghai is in China right now, right? This is what I'm looking at, and this is why I've been waiting to do any major purchases. Another reason why. This is why I've been waiting, Josh. Read that. Could you read that out loud in the blue?
That's 51% of the global result. Shanghai's contribution appears to be stable at around 51% over the past 7 quarters. There was a dip in Q2 2022.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. So there's a lot of dichotomies when it comes to Tesla. Where they sell the Teslas, where Teslas are made, the very people we got a tariff against, right? And so these are the things that a lot of people are not even thinking about. They're just emotional. Oh, he's on both sides. One, oh, he's a traitor. And on the other side, this man is giving his life. He's working for free. And you got both sides. But what I want you and I to do is step back, zoom out, and see what's the best for us. Because at the end of the day, he's still the richest man in America. At the end of the day, right? Yeah. So we got to be smart and do what's best for us, right?
Well, I've got a question, and this one I think you guys will be interested in chiming in on. This was from a follower. They said, bro, your videos are all about your successful trades. Can you be more realistic and tell us about some of your unsuccessful ones? It will be more believable. I got that comment the other day, and I wanted an opportunity to address it. And I can just tell you guys, the reason why you hear me talk more about my successful trades is because any of my unsuccessful trades had controlled losses through stop losses that were predicted. I wasn't caught off guard. It didn't run away from me. And I don't consider a loss by being stopped out by a loss or having made a decision when I thought something was bullish and then it got stopped out. I don't consider that a loss. I consider that the cost to do business. And so if you really adapt the disciplines, and I know that these gentlemen have, When you finally adapt the discipline to have a stop loss strategy, you stop feeling those were expected. You don't expect every trade to pop the minute you get into it. So that's the cost of doing business. And I really just don't consider it to be that big of a deal. If my losses are controlled anywhere from 10, even as high as 20%, if I'm able to make 20, 40, or 60, 80% on options, that was expected. That's routine. That's called Monday morning, folks.
I like that. Or like, hey, Josh, so what, I'm Josh. Keenan, we're going to wrap this up. Like we said, you hear what's happening outside. That's actually outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're about to we're in a tornado zone. And you know, black folk, when we get uneasy, we start looking over our shoulder. Like,
what's coming?
Yeah, what's going on? Hey, Keenan, I want you to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Give your parting words. Then, Josh, you're next.
Yep.
I want to give a shout out to P. Ross and the rest of my KGU family. I just seen P. Ross just hit us with a super chat. Shout out to you, big dog. Love, always love. And I wanted to say, Pam McCain, I want to say, Keenan, man, why you look like you upset? You want to know why? I'd be so honest with you. First reason I tell you is I got like a headache, right? But that's the surface. I'm upset because there's so much money on the table, and I see people getting so caught up in things that ain't gonna pay. And I see people who are gonna have trouble paying their medical bills, people who are gonna have trouble paying their rent, people who are so upset about the cost of eggs. Listen, I don't like to see the cost of eggs going up, but I never heard Larry, Moe, Josh, Chris Sane, Meet Kevin, or anybody like that complain about eggs. Why? Because they're making so much money that the things that happen out of our control, we could get ahead of it. So I say that to say, wow. I want you to get in that position. You don't believe that you can,
come on,
but
Keenan.
I believe that you can, and you need to believe it with me so that it can happen. And that does upset me thoroughly. You limit yourself to where you could go, what you could achieve, and it just gets me in my heart because I want to pull you up, but then you pulling back the other way. And I want you to just win. I want you to listen. I want you to learn because I know, I'm telling you this, I was a public school teacher. I'm talking about, I used to teach public schools. And before that, I would do a pre-tutoring thing. And then I would teach during school. And then I would do subbing lessons during my free study time in school. And then I would go and do after school lessons and after school programs. I'd be working from sundown to the sun is up, to the sun is down again. Then I rinse and repeat. And then I say, yo, I'm also going to get my money to work for me. And this thing has taken me all the way up to places that I can't even believe. I'm telling you, I'm from a broken home. I didn't have a dad. You know what I'm saying? My mother had her own struggles. But guess what? I could use excuses, or I could use my ability to learn and overcome. So then I do it and I see it on the market. And then I want you to be able to do the same thing. And how are you going to do it? You're going to do it through investing in yourself. Investing in yourself is not always just buying a dip on Tesla. Investing in yourself is not just buying XRP. It's not even just buying VOO. You got to invest into your mind, invest into your thinking, invest into your brain, invest into your vessel so that you can be the person you're supposed to be, so you could break the shackles of the generations of people in your life. If you go back to your mother and father, it's very likely that they were struggling with money. Your grandmother and grandfather, they were struggling with money. Great grandfather, all the way down the line. You could break out of them shackles by using opportunities that they didn't have. You can do it. And I'm telling you this, you got to believe in yourself. So when I think about that, that fires me up. It fires me up. It upsets me. It makes me mad because I know you could do it, but you don't even see your potential, and it's unlimited. And like Josh just said, somebody has said something similar to me. Somebody said, Keenan, I'm hearing you talk about your 400% win that you had. I'm seeing you talk about making $16,000 in a quick trade. I'm seeing you say you made 160K in a day. And I'm like, guess what? You ever heard the saying that something is just not worth calling home about or writing home about? If I take a loss and my loss is $400, don't you find that odd that my loss is exactly $400 or exactly $200? You shouldn't, because I already pre-planned the max I'm willing to lose.
Come on.
I already pre-planned it. That's the max I'm willing to lose. So if I did lose it, it's a part of the plan. The plan went as planned. But then if I get in a trade, I'm risking $400 and then I make $100K off of this trade. And you say, yo, wow, Keenan's telling me about that. I'm telling you about that because now the plan might have been risk $400 and make $1,000. But then I made 10K, 12K. Oh, yeah, there's something to write home about. Mom, did you hear this? You see what I'm saying? So then you would hear about the wins because the losses are already predetermined. If Michael Jordan got into a game and then he scored 5 points, guess what? You're not going to hear about that. It ain't worth writing home about. But if he made 100 points, okay, now this one, that's the one that's going to make the news. That's the one that you're going to hear about. So at the end of the day, family, I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to grow your wealth. I want you to really, really understand the game and don't let people's limiting beliefs limit you. And last thing I wanted to say, I had made a video and somebody said, Keenan, I can't believe you don't have 1 million followers yet. And then I said, you know what? It's cool if I never get 1 million followers because it ain't about the followers. It's about the dollars. I already got $1 million in the account, more than that. So I said, I already went platinum. I already got my gold plaque. I already got my platinum plaque. YouTube didn't give it to me. I gave it to myself. And I want you to give it to yourself. It don't have to be the metrics that other people are looking at. It got to be the metrics that you are looking at and the ones that have real world impact. So at the end of the day, family, make yourself go platinum. Get yourself that YouTube plaque by investing into yourself. And let's get to this money and invest into your brain as well.
Josh. I love it. I love it. I can't top that for motivation. Keenan nailed it again.
Keenan should have been a preacher. He should have been a preacher.
I felt it. I passed the plate on that one.
I think he on the low end, he a preacher, like, and then he come over here and he's stocking up. But
that's right.
He's Keenan Grace over here. But
I believe in the people, man. I believe in the people.
I do too. And I understand that I really want people to believe in themselves. And a lot of times people don't take advice because they're kind of jumping all around. And Larry and Keenan cannot look you in that eye and tell you, follow us. I'm doing this. We can't do that. So you're going to have to read between the lines and you're going to have to pick up the disciplines. We talked today about a margin account versus a cash account. I didn't stutter. I wasn't unclear about the way to get yourself set up. The limitations are good. Now, you either believe me or you don't. But those that believe me, we're doing this every video. We're sharing the foundations that need to be put in place for you to get wealthy. I genuinely believe that most people can leave trading time for money and begin to get into the investor or Wall Street economy, which you're going to have to do because I just told you a moment ago that Elon's putting out a robot army to take your jobs and, filled with AI brains. And they're going to do a lot better than most people can do answering the phone. And that's a fact, guys. So you got to begin to get positioned, I believe, with your journey on Wall Street. That's what we're doing here. Someone asked about PRZO, and I'm just going to say that I'm not in that. I put a trigger alert in my TradingView account for when it crosses back above $1. That's when it gets interesting again. I like the company. I think that right now it's just everybody on Wall Street went risk off. So they dump everything of value. Doesn't matter whether it's a blue chip company like NVIDIA or whether it's a small cap like PRZO, everybody dumped it. But I believe that that's one you don't want to sleep on. My settings have it to buy. If it crosses back above $1, I'm going to jump right into it. I think I'm going to leave it right there. Larry, thank you for having me on the show. Guys, a lot of viewers are watching this video right now, but the likes don't add up to the number of viewers that are currently listening to me speak. So please take a minute, if you enjoyed this video and you got this far, to hit that like. And then one last thing, don't sleep on Larry's Money Moves community because it's a learning journey and it's at a pace that anybody can follow, right? Anybody can follow. He's not sitting there talking over you. He's talking directly to you, step by step to get on that journey. And I'm telling you, a lot of you need to put that investment time in. Don't wait till you're 55. Don't wait till you're 60. Don't wait till you're 65 because you might end up being in the same exact financial place as you are today, but you have slept on 5, 10, 15 years of learning opportunity. Those are my 2 cents.
Appreciate that. Somebody made that post. I can't find it now. They said if if we were talking about XRP, we'd have 10,000 people watching right now. And that's kind of true, you know, that's just kind of true. So please hit that like button. Josh, if you don't mind, put a 200-day, on there. And I just want to show something. You know, you guys know when Keenan was talking, y'all know that's my talk. I love, that's my type of talk, okay? Dropping gems, Keenan Grace, D Hunt. We will really appreciate you. I hope I'm saying that right. Or is that the Hunt? So, and then jumping in, getting exhausted. Keenan Grace on fire. Jump Man again. We really appreciate all of these. Kathy, look at Kathy. Cousin Kathy, look at that. Encouraged by
Very
all
nice.
of these three you're doing. Family blessings from Arizona. That's Cousin Kathy, okay?
That is Cousin Kathy.
Let's put some spec on her name.
Yep.
All right. We love all of you guys, but listen, before we close, Josh, without even knowing day by day what's going on, I'm going to pull this up. Without even knowing day by day. So what I did, Keenan, is I had a stop loss on my, and I told Josh when I did this, that I had a stop loss on some of my NVIDIA and some of my Tesla. And it was like the first dip. And it triggered and sold some. But here's what I want you guys to know. Now is the time. I'll put it back on that. Now is the time for you guys. I'll bring you back in, Keenan. Don't go nowhere. Now is the time for you to be repositioning yourself. And what Keenan was saying about Tesla is that sometimes it's just good to sit still. Actively trading sometimes is sitting still and doing nothing, right? And then sometimes you have to look at your portfolio and see, is it balanced? If you're down twice as much as everybody else, that means all of your stock is in tech, right? On the stock market or tech heavy, which means that you're unbalanced. Follow? For those of you that are not, been in this game long, because we got a lot of people here. Here's what I want to tell you. Hey, Keenan, if the S&P 500 goes up 40%, you're going to be much richer, right?
Y'all ain't gonna see me no more. Nah, I'm playing.
And the reason why I'm saying that, the reason why I'm saying that is I saw how much he has in the S&P 500, right? I know how much VOO he has, all right? And so when the market goes down and NVIDIA and all of those go down by 10, 20%, that VOO ain't down by 20%. You know, and they've went down by 30%. VOO is not down by 30%, right? And these are long-term investments, right? And so, Josh, while you're looking at this,
you know, I love these charts. You know, I want to chime in on this.
Yes. So now I had him. I pulled this up. This is QQQ, which is tech heavy, right? And what is it? 200 stock in QQQ, because QQQ 100 is 100. So you get about 200 stock of the top weighted tech. So you're tech heavy here. You got NVIDIA in here. You got Tesla in here. You got Microsoft in here. And what we've been doing is just buying when they dip in correction territory. Mm-hmm. We're not even trying to look at the bottom. So every time it comes close to the 200-day, we've been buying. And so, Josh, I want you to talk about what the people are seeing in closing, and then I want you to tell them what you see and just put some icing on top of what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I want to be very clear, guys, about the chart you're looking at. First of all, you can just tell on your own that every single time, if you bought this when it came back to the 200-day moving average, you can see that it went on to have a beautiful run. Now, this time is a little different, and I want to talk about it. And sometimes you don't want to look too far down the road. So this time, instead of hitting the 200 and bouncing, we cut through it, and we went down a total of 14%. Now, there is both some bullishness and bearishness in this chart. If you're me, you see a flag, and let me draw it out for you guys. Mm-hmm. This is a bearish flag, which can point to a continuation down. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's a little ominous, but I'm gonna tell you something that I know about these charts, mm-hmm. okay? And that's that we're going to back test this 200-day moving average before going lower. Okay, we might even jump above it. We'll do that before going lower. So at bare minimum, right now, I'm just telling you for the next 2 weeks, at bare minimum, the QQQ is likely to get up to 495. Now, when it's above the 200-day moving average, we got to see how it behaves. If we get tariff things worked out, if we get a volume surge, then we could literally get a V shape and be back up here.
And I want to say something right here. Thank you, Josh.
No problem.
So I want to say he hit the nail right on the head, right? So every other time, as far as you can go back, every time it came close, and it has broken beneath before. When you go back, it has broken beneath before. Here we go. Look at this, Josh.
2022.
2022 is broke, and that was a bear market. But what were we doing here? We kept nibbling on these dips. We and the people that's following me in the money moves, I say, do not exhaust all your bags, right? But here's what I want to show you guys, and I just wanted to leave with a little education, guys. So please forgive me if this is going a little long, because I want the people to leave here just knowing what's going on, right? And then it's thundering real bad outside. We're going to cut this. So this is what I wanted to show you with that. Sometimes if you're just tech heavy and, you have no consumables, right? You have no energy. You have everything. All your money is just tech heavy. Then you're unbalanced. In times like this, the market will show you how you're unbalanced. This is a way to be diversified, but also buy into something that's actually most wealthy people. I'm not talking about thousandaires. I'm talking about millionaires. They show me their accounts all of the time, Josh, all over the world. These people, these millionaires come and show me their accounts, right? And it's heavy with these ETFs, 50%, 80%. And then they have this other stuff. Why? They don't want to take a 30, 40% hit, right? And so you just showed you, and the reason why we're buying this. So Larry, why would you buy if Josh just said that? He's absolutely right. Because the economy did not cause this sell-off.
Yep.
That's why. It's politics induced. That's what caused this sell-off. And the minute, if Monday morning, Zelensky and Putin holding hands, singing Kumbaya, Israel stops bombing, and the tariff wars are off, all three of those happens in the next 30 days, what do you think is going to happen to the stock market? It's going to recover. It's going to recover. And what's going to happen to the crypto market? It's going to recover.
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen. So at some point, you just need to buy. I want you guys to be balanced. I'm going to leave it right there, good people. I love these guys. Shouts out to Mo if you're watching, Stock Mo. We hope you get better. And he had a little procedure to do. He's a little under the weather. You saw his videos today on this page, but that's the type of dude that works even when he's sick. Keenan Grace, traveling, headache. I didn't think he was going to be on today, but he came just for you guys. I want you to rewind this, listen to every word he said, including what I said he was preaching. But when we talk from our hearts is because we really love you guys and we want you guys to prosper. This is what we talk about all the time. We forget the easy stuff. We forget it. And we want you guys to know that, all right? So I'm going to leave that right here. Hey, I DCA long-term weekly, but I also got small dips. See, there you go. There you go. And so that's what's up, as they say. That's what's up. All right, good people. We're going to leave it right there. We love you guys. We could be here all day, but, it's coming down outside, and brother a little scared, a little nervous. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I got to get under that doorpost before Josh does. So, hey, Keenan, love you, brother. I want you to know that in front of everybody. I love you. You know what I'm saying? And listen, this is going to sound odd, but man, I would have been proud to be your dad, dude. And not just because of who you are today and what you have accomplished. You just that dude. Somebody said Keenan is, and Keenan is. Josh, I consider it a pleasure and an honor to be your friend. And I want you guys to know I am here to serve you guys as well as all of us are here to serve the people. That's what love is.
Thank you, Larry.
All right. We love you guys. Live, love, laugh.
Y'all too.
Yes, sir. Live, love, laugh, and learn.